Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. I'm really glad to have you here today. I was 5 months pregnant, but for an unknown reason, my cervix opened prematurely and I was about to give birth. I was rushed to the operating room to have my cervix closed by a diaphragm. But the next day, my water bag burst despite the surgery the day before. I was rushed to the emergency room again to remove the diaphragm so that the delivery could be done. The baby was born, but died because his lungs were not developed enough. I bled profusely and was sent to the operating room for the third time for emergency surgery. What I experienced during this third surgery was death, and how extraordinary it was. I have no desire to commit suicide, and it's interesting that I have always enjoyed life and lived more or less without the sadness or worry. But still, I prefer my presence in death to life before or after my experience. But the message I received in my experience explains what I have been so free and worry free. God's message to me in my experience was that He is in control of everything. Also, He made me understand not through words, but through telepathy and thought, that all body sensations and events and feelings such as anger, embarrassment, sadness, stress, and disappointment and heartbreaks that happen throughout a person's life, falling in completely insignificant and insignificant compared to that person's feeling and experience of God after death. They are only small elements that form the elements of life in a body. My near-death experience. Everything became completely dark and black. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a very bright, endless, and boundless light and space. This luminous presence had no shape or form, but filled everywhere like the air you breathe. But on my right, there was a being with a more defined form and format that seemed to have a more direct connection with me. It was a smaller part of the same great presence that had a more personal and direct connection with my soul about understanding why I felt this great presence. It was as if he was laughing softly at my reaction, full of joy and boundless amazement in this space of our spirit and meaning. And he shared these joys and pleasures with me and understood them. I knew that the greater presence was God. This smaller being at the door to my right was in fact Christ, and he was the one who had led me there. When I realized this and paid more attention to my surroundings, I realized that I had merged with this omnipresence. He gave me understanding, not through words, but through convincing and satisfying knowledge. He always clarified the questions that were in my mind about life, but I had not asked them, and there was no doubt, ambiguity left in me. I remember constantly asking, so this is what life is all about? God's presence was so peaceful that I felt a sense of suspended peace in His presence. This is the feeling that people seek in life through money, religion, marriage, relationship, and everything else. Then I understood why people are constantly searching but never satisfied. Because what we are looking for is not here on earth. There isn't even a proper word for it. The only word that might come close in Almighty Peace or God. I started to relive different events in my life, events that I no longer had any memories of. For example, when I was in kindergarten, because I didn't know the answer to question, I felt embarrassed and humiliated. In life review, we laughed at that moment. It became clear to me how deep and important my feeling of confusion and embarrassment was at that moment when I was a child. He showed me many other small and significant moments that seemed very important and serious to me at the time. Even things that I don't remember some of them now. But he brought them back to my memory like showing a very clear movie. But now, these moments no longer had any meaning or importance. He also showed me when I was about 16 years old and I was cooking a fried chicken. This moment had absolutely no special meaning for me, but this was one moment among many significant moments in my life. Suddenly, my whole life seemed stupid and unimportant to me. I had always taken life too seriously. But he showed me that life is a series of events. By showing me to myself in this review of my life, he gave me the understanding that these were events that happened, passed, and are no more and have no meaning. But it is he who is eternal and the true meaning. The life he showed me in this was divine. I was curious as to where the negative earth emotions, such as disappointments, heartbreaks, hardships, strife, and all the sorrows and worries of the world had gone. I was told emphatically, "You are in control of your life, and that's what life is all about." I started repeating to myself, "You are in control of life, and that's what life is all about. You are in control of your life." I got the feeling that Earth's life is against this life, and the order of existence is very worthless. Suddenly, I heard someone shouting. I was going back and away from the light, and I said, "I don't want to go back. I want to be here." "But you have a spouse who loves you very much," I heard the smaller being say. I was very disappointed and angry. I said, "Who is shouting?" I started seeing lights and looked down and saw my body. But it was as if I was looking at a stranger. I have never seen myself with this complete view from the outside. I said, "It's me, but what am I shouting like that?" In a fraction of a second, I came back to my body and understood what I was screaming. I was in the middle of surgery and I was in a lot of pain. Sometimes I feel heavy and regret that it was decided to send me back. I didn't tell my spouse, but I feel resentful that I returned because of him. I spent a lot of time reviewing the events of my experience and recreating the feeling of being there. As time passes, I'm afraid that its memory will fade. But I don't want that memory to fade. That experience was higher than euphoria and intoxication. Before, when I went to church, I was amazed by the stories the priest told about God and Christ. Now, the pastor's sermons seem boring, linear and small to me. I don't take the events of life too seriously anymore because I know that this life is very temporary and fleeting.